Obama and Congress are currently fighting over the budget, right? And right here he's talking about the budget must be resolved in 2 weeks, August 3rd. Now check this out.
It's the publication of the budget, since we've spent more money than we can hide. The budget comes out in 2 weeks. I don't suppose I could convince you to sit on this for 2 weeks.
No such thing as 2 weeks in the news business.
And I can't appeal to your sense of what's in the nation's best interest.
Well, I always thought the truth was in the nation's best interest.
It's bumped, like a billiard ball in a pool table, and is knocked into a different orbit. Now, if this comet continues on its path around the sun and keeps its present course, sometime on August 16th, roughly a year from now, there's a chance that we might have impact. So for the past 8 months, the United States and Russia have been building the largest spaceship ever constructed. It's being built in orbit around the Earth. We call it the Messiah. And right now, a team of American astronauts and one Russian are at Cape Canaveral in Florida. In 2 months, they will leave on the shuttle Atlantis to board the Messiah. This is the crew.
Okay, Atlantis launched, meeting the Russians on the ISS.
That will stop the comet.
Do you see how this is playing out? My point is this. You have Shakespeare saying that all the world is a stage, okay? We have this experiment that's been set up for thousands of years to get us to a state of Christ consciousness. And so, what's the best way to get us to a state of Christ consciousness, to get us to unify? Well, it's to scare the crap out of us, right? So is it possible that what we're seeing here, it's just not, it just wouldn't work this smoothly, that everything like this would fall into place on the dates and the role, the enactment and everything. Everything that you see on TV, we've already seen recently that this thing in Norway, that there was stuff written in the blogs 2 days prior to when it actually happened. And then when it did happen, that people weren't, it's almost like they were actors, like they weren't real. And let me just show you something on that real quick. But let me play a little bit more of this first.
Jenny Lerner, MSNBC. Mr. President, why wasn't this announcement made sooner?
Well, until we knew we could build the rocket and the comet could be intercepted, we saw no reason to alarm the planet. Do you have another question, Ms. Lerner?
Yeah. Is there a connection between the comet and the recall of American troops from abroad?
Okay, that's enough. You don't need to see any more. You can see how this is playing out exactly the way it was in the movie, right? And so where is all this coming from? Do you think they really staged all these actors to do this for us? You got to think about this for a second, right? Can you imagine the level of effort it would take to put a play together like this, for something like this to happen and play out exactly the way it would a movie? I don't care whether or not the movie matches what they're doing. The real key is could it have been pulled off? Could it have been pulled off based on what we know for this to work this smoothly? I say no. So if it couldn't have been pulled off that smoothly, how is it happening the way that it is? Let me show you one other piece of evidence.
Fighting men and women.
Okay, check this quick video out. Norway shooting hoax. Watch them carefully. No tears, no victims, no info.
Curious about the shooting on Utoya. Let's go to Utoya. It's a private little island owned by the Workers' Youth League. Oh, what is this? Pitchforky things? The Workers' Youth League. Socialist. Young European Socialist. Leader is Escal Peterson. Let's go over him. Large political leader, talks about him. Let's go to his YouTube page. Let's refresh. Wow, son, you got yourself some page. It's a party that's been around since 2007. That is some page you got. Oh, you got friends. And your friends have some page too. Damn. This is the people on the island who were shot. Since I know for a fact that the Gabrielle Giffords shooting is an absolute hoax. No one was shot. This one's a little bit more real. Looking 2007, 3 pages of comments. I just do my homework. I go through all the comments, but we won't do that here. Let's see, what else we got? Dang! Your friends have some pages. That is...
Basically what she's showing here are these people that were supposed to be in these parties, and they have these YouTube pages. They don't really have any information in them all. They're just, just like we see on these trolls and these shills. Their pages don't really contain anything. And then down here she's saying, if you Google it on Wikipedia, these parties were just invented, and so were the wiki links on them as well, right? So she's taking a look at this stuff, and she's finding out that the leader, they own the island, but they have no friends. Okay, so basically what we're seeing here is it's almost like a lot of this stuff is being invented. And if you take a look at, here's the doozy for you right here, okay? Isn't it interesting, okay, that everybody is focused on this final event being Comet Elenin, right? And so anytime we need information on Comet Elenin, where do we have to go? We have to go to NASA. Do we have 20 different places that we can go to compare against what we're seeing in the sky or what we're seeing around the sun with NASA compared to anybody else? No, we don't. And we know that the U.S. and the Russians, according to Jordan's site, were working on this consciousness grid back in the 60s. Well, the only other country that we seem to hear anything about, any of the stuff, seems to be Russia. Russia seems to be the only other person that is playing into all this stuff. So, if we can't find contradictions because we can't compare NASA to anybody else, then all you people up there that are watching the sun all the time, okay, don't be coming around and saying that NASA is telling you lies, but then turn around and trust their pictures of the sun and stuff, because it could very well be that they're setting all that up to scare the hell out of you. This year of 2011 is when we're supposed to manifest. Basically, whatever we concentrate on or whatever we focus on is what we become conscious of. Let me show you something real quick. I'm just going to play you a few seconds of this one, but this person knows about the Mayan calendar, and they're saying that this was created on the 2nd of May. On the 2nd of May, the second night is starting of the 9th wave of the Mayan calendar, and this stands for reaction. If we go and take a look at that over here, okay, on this 9th wave, reaction is basically right here, the second, all the way. This is the night right here. And if you remember, on the 10th and the 11th, that's when that stuff happened in Fort Worth. That's also when I found the moon disappeared. And it's also the same night that I said all the world is a stage inside that video. So what's going on here? There's something strange going on here. It's almost surreal. It's almost like it's not even real. And that's my point. And so what she's saying here...
With the shadows still remain since your descent.
What you pay attention to, you become conscious of. Now, think about this for just a second. How many of you out there are focusing on Comet Elenin? Well, a lot of you are focusing on Comet Elenin. And so, how many of you do you think have seen Deep Impact? I bet you more and more of you are seeing Deep Impact. In fact, you guys are probably out there watching Deep Impact so that you can compare it to what's going on right now. But here's my theory. My theory is that since this is the ninth wave, and we are in a process of manifestation, and what we focus our attention on is what we become conscious of, then all of you out there searching for Comet Elenin and comparing it to movies are only creating these movies. Because I'm thinking, and my theory is that all the world is a stage. This is surreal. It's not real. It's a cosmic game. And I'm telling you that it'd be way too impossible to set all of this up so that they are enacting and playing out what a movie happens to be. This is you. This is you thinking. This is your consciousness. This is where you're putting your focus, and you are making it happen. So stop giving it your focus. What are you really going to do about it anyway? If a comet, are you really going to pick up and run to the mountains? Is that what you're going to do? If not, if your plan isn't to like really jump out into the mountains and try to survive or something like that, then why the hell are you giving it all your attention? Are you giving it your attention because you want to win a popularity contest on YouTube? Think about all of the things you could be giving your focus to instead of that. And so, let me play you a little bit more from this other clip. This is important. Okay, I'm going to play you a little bit of the clip from this interview with Dr. Kalaman, who's supposed to be an expert on the Mayan calendar. What he's going to tell you here real quick is that what a lot of people don't know is that the Mayan calendar, since people are normally used to European charts, that they don't realize that it's actually about a year off, the 28th of October, and it completely makes sense too, if you think about it. If we skip back over here and we take a look at this this calendar right here, and we take a look at when is Comet Elenin supposed to arrive? Well, it's supposed to arrive somewhere around the 26th. That's supposed to be its peak, right, when it's going to be really bad. We take a look down here in September. September 25th basically is when the sixth night has just started. Okay, the sixth night has just started, and that's when it's going to. And then we go down to October 28th, and that's the end of all the 7th days. Well, it makes complete sense. We're going to enter this darkness period from about the 23rd, and then come out of it around the, of course, the 11th of October, and then it ends right here on the 28th. And so what do we know about that? So I popped over here to nexus2012info.ca, and I found this very interesting thing because it tied in with this Shakespeare quote. And it says, hi all, after reading the article in the comments, I can't help but to put my 2 cents worth in. I don't think the EMVs are allowed to interfere with the evolution of a species. Protecting us from outside influences, solar flares, radiation is one thing, to alter the outcome of a species by directly removing any aspect of it from the contrary to the universal rule of non-interference on this planet, which has been set up as the only planet of free choice. That's what the whole experiment is about, to see if souls incarnate after being born into complete amnesia on planet Earth can manage to learn or remember that we are God, or that basically we have the ability to raise our awareness to Christ consciousness, and those who wield their imaginary power and influence are just like actors on a stage. All the world is a stage, men and women are merely actors. Okay? Now check out what he has to say here.
We word into History Channel and so forth. But if you come from the Mayan calendar, then you know that what's important about the calendar is actually the energies that rule these. And energetically, the end date must be a date that is 13 Ahau. And you have to go into the Mayan calendar a little bit in order to understand that. And that immediately disqualifies the December 21, 2012 date, which I think is just has no meaning whatsoever. And it points to, especially now when we are so strongly experiencing the